Bellboy Donald would not have worked near as well if it had been any other of the Fabulous Five or Sensational Six who had been the protagonist for this one. Because this is all about the customer always being right, even if that means winding up the bellboy. Donald is, of course, the bellboy here in a hotel, and it's quite a nice hotel. You can see it looks quite well kept. I mean, it has a bellboy, which suggests it's kind of expensive. And he meets this young child called Pete Jr., and Donald is very polite, he's very welcoming, but this child does everything he can to wind up Donald. And I won't say what he does, because that's kind of part of the fun of wondering just how far this little child is going to go to torment Donald. And it does get to some pretty good extreme. And I have to say, the conclusion for this, I won't say how it ends, but I will say I love it, but I found Donald to be quite menacing and quite scary. I had a lot of fun with it. I did feel a little bit sorry for Donald. I'm a big Donald Duck fan, but usually I enjoy watching him get wound up because it's really funny. But at the same time, this is such a real situation that I feel like a lot of people will experience if you work in hospitality or in retail, where the customer, the visitor, they're always right, even if they're not. And obviously, Donald's not allowed to put this child in his place, and he is basically helpless and has to do everything this child says. And I think the progression of it was fun, the conclusion of it was great. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Not my favourite Donald Duck short, but it was nice to see him in a slightly different environment, to see him working in a profession. It's a little bit different to the usual where he's getting wound up at home or in the garden or when he's out for a walk. So I thought it was quite unique in that sense. It aired or was broadcast originally in 1942 and is directed by Jack King. Pete Jr. is meant to be Pete's son. We don't really see him that frequently as a character, certainly not with this animation style. He is a character that will annoy you, and he will drive you insane. Clarence Nash did the brilliant voices for Donald Duck and Pete Jr. I don't know how he did not hurt his throat when voicing Pete Jr., or indeed Donald Duck for that matter. A lot of the voices that Clarence Nash does sound like they really rip his throat to bits, but he's obviously very, very talented and fantastic voiceover artist. Bellboy Donald was definitely one that I enjoyed, and if you're a Donald Duck fan, I thoroughly recommend it.